What if the reason your baby won't sleep has nothing to do with the method? Tuesday, 7 p.m. My son had been waking every 40 minutes for 11 days. I had tried the chair method, the schedule, the drowsy but awake thing, the shushing, the swaddling, the sleep consultant's checklist. None of it worked. That night, I asked my husband to take bedtime. Not because I had a new plan, because I was completely done. And our son was asleep in 4 minutes. I stood outside the nursery door, listening, confused. My husband hadn't done anything clever. He used the same steps, the same order, the same white noise machine. The only thing that changed was who was holding our son. That was the night I stopped asking, what is the best sleep method, and started asking something I had never seen in any sleep book. What if the problem was never my baby's sleep? What if it was my nervous system? Here is what nobody told me at the mother and baby group, at the pediatrician's office, or in any of the 7 sleep books I bought. Your baby does not have a fully formed nervous system at birth. Not because something went wrong, because that is exactly how human biology designed it. Babies are wired at the cellular level to borrow the nervous system of their primary caregiver in order to function. The scientific word for this is co-regulation, but I do not want you to hear that as a concept from a psychology textbook. I want you to hear it as a physical, measurable, biological event that is happening in your baby's body every single day. When you are calm, your baby's body uses yours as a template to reach calm. When you are in fight or flight mode, that is the template they receive. And at bedtime, when your baby is overtired, overstimulated, and right at the edge of their window, they are the most sensitive to that template they will be at any point during the day. So the question is not, which sleep method is best? The question is, what state is your nervous system in when you walk through that nursery door at 7 p.m.? Now, I want to take apart something I hear constantly and something I used to believe completely. People say, you need to teach your baby to self-soothe. And the idea sounds so reasonable. Baby cries, you wait, eventually they settle, they learn to do it on their own. Clean, logical. Except for one problem. Self-regulation, the ability to notice you are overwhelmed and bring yourself back down, lives in the prefrontal cortex. And your baby's prefrontal cortex does not come online until somewhere between 18 months and 3 years. Some researchers push it to 5. The neural architecture that allows a person to think, I am distressed but I can manage this, does not exist yet in your newborn. It literally cannot exist. The brain has not built it. What sleep training actually does, when it does work, is not teach self-soothing. It creates habituation. The baby eventually stops crying because the alarm signal becomes familiar, because the body learns that the threat is not going to change, so it stops flagging it. That is not the same as calming down. Neurologically, those are very different processes. I am not telling you not to do sleep training. I am telling you to understand what it actually is, because when you do, you realize this. The most powerful variable in your baby's sleep is not the method you pick. It is the biological state of your nervous system in the 30 minutes before you begin. What is the long-term reward for getting this right? Babies who receive consistent co-regulation during the first 12 months develop what researchers call a lower cortisol set point. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and the baseline your baby's stress response system calibrates to in that first year is not a temporary setting. It stays with them through early childhood. One landmark study followed children from infancy to age 10 and found that those who were held through regulated nervous systems in the first year showed measurably lower cortisol responses to new stressors at school. They recovered faster from upsets. They had fewer instances of what clinicians call stress response dysregulation, which is the pattern underneath most anxiety, most emotional outbursts, most sleep fragmentation in older children. You are not just trying to survive tonight. You are building the architecture of your child's stress response system for the next decade. That is a big sentence, and I mean every word of it. Which also means that every time you choose to regulate your own nervous system before you walk into that nursery, before you do anything else, you are doing something that matters far beyond bedtime. Let me show you exactly why this works at the biological level. Because you need to be calm is not enough. You need to know what is actually happening in your baby's body when you are. There is a specific type of nerve fiber that lives in your skin and in your baby's skin. They are called C-tactile afferents, and they were mapped in detail by researchers at Cambridge and UCL. What makes them different from every other nerve in your body is this: they carry only one signal. Not temperature, not pain, not pressure. Their only message is, this touch is from someone safe. They are slow fibers, unmyelinated, and they respond specifically to gentle stroking touch at a certain speed, roughly 3 to 5 centimeters per second, which is the speed of a calm, deliberate hand moving across a baby's back. Not fast, not tense, slow and present. And here is what makes this remarkable. C-tactile afferents do not route through the cognitive brain. They go directly to the amygdala, which is your baby's threat detection center. Not through interpretation, not through thought, straight to the alarm system with one message: stand down. You are safe. But here is the part nobody talks about. Your skin transmits more than touch. It transmits temperature. It transmits the microtension in your muscles. It transmits your pulse through your fingertips. Your baby's nervous system reads all of it simultaneously. A calm set of movements performed by a stressed body does not carry the same signal. The C-tactile pathway activates fully when the person holding the baby is actually regulated, not just moving slowly. This is why you can do everything right: the right hold, the right rhythm, the right shushing, and it still does not work on the hard nights. Your body is telling a story that your technique is trying to override. By the way, if something clicked just now, a subscribe here genuinely helps us keep going this deep instead of making another tip list video. Okay, back to the biology. The second mechanism comes from the research of Stephen Porges, a neuroscientist who spent decades documenting why safety is not just a feeling. It is a biological state with a measurable physiological signature. The vagus nerve runs from the base of your brainstem all the way through your heart, your lungs, and your gut. It is the primary cable of the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest side, and it functions as a biological brake on the fight or flight response. When your vagal tone is high, your heart rate is flexible. It can come down quickly after a stressor. You return to baseline. Your baby's vagus nerve at birth is immature. The brake barely works on its own. So what does the biology do? It borrows yours. There is a phenomenon called physiological synchrony, documented in multiple independent studies using ECG monitors and accelerometers on both parent and baby. When a calm parent holds their baby in skin-to-skin contact, the baby's heart rate begins to synchronize with the parent's within 4 to 7 minutes. Not as a metaphor, literally, the beats align. When that shared resting heart rate drops into a calm range together, something opens in the baby's nervous system. Sleep researchers describe it as the sleep-onset window. The baby's body stops scanning for threat. The muscles soften. The eyes lose focus. They let go. That window is not opened by the method. It is not opened by the schedule. It is opened by your nervous system acting as an external vagal brake for your baby's immature one. You are, biologically, your baby's off switch. Now, I want to be very clear about something, and I want you to actually hear this because a lot of parents I talk to take everything I just said and immediately convert it into another thing they are failing at. You do not need to be perfectly calm. You do not need to fix your anxiety, become a meditation practitioner, or be in some Zen state before your baby will sleep. Research is consistent on this. Partial regulation, even a 20 to 30% reduction in your own stress level during the pre-bedtime window, is enough to shift the co-regulation signal your baby receives. What that looks like in practice is smaller than you think. What I started doing, and what I now share in the 72-hour sleep kit, is a 3-part reset that fits inside the 30 minutes before bedtime. It is not a new routine on top of everything else. It is a specific intervention that takes under 10 minutes, and it is timed to match the window where your nervous system most directly influences your baby's sleep onset. Box breathing in the kitchen while the bath is running. Stepping outside for 90 seconds before you start the bedtime sequence. Putting your phone in a drawer at 6:30. These are not wellness trends. They are ways of raising your vagal tone before you walk through that nursery door, so that when you hold your baby, your body is actually saying the thing you want it to say. The full protocol, the co-regulation bedtime reset, the nap and feed schedule calibrated for nervous system windows, and the troubleshooting guide for the nights when nothing seems to work. It is all inside the 72-hour sleep kit. The link is in the description. I have included a discount code there because I want as many parents as possible to have this, not just the ones who can afford a $100 sleep consultant. I want to leave you with something. You have probably spent a lot of time trying to fix your baby's sleep. Researching schedules, comparing methods, reading forums at midnight, buying things. And I understand exactly why. Because when your baby is not sleeping, every resource you find tells you the answer is a better system. But your baby is not broken. Their sleep is not a problem with your technique. Your baby is exquisitely, precisely calibrated to you. Their nervous system is waiting for yours to go first. And when yours does, theirs follows. That is not a design flaw. That is one of the most sophisticated pieces of biology in the human body. So tonight, before you try anything else, try arriving first. Before you walk in, take 30 seconds. Breathe out slowly. Drop your shoulders. Let your body remember what calm actually feels like in your chest. And then go in. See what happens. If this video opens something up for you, my video on the 4-month sleep regression goes even deeper into what is happening in your baby's nervous system during the biggest developmental shift of their first year. It is the change that catches every parent off guard, and understanding the neuroscience behind it makes it so much less frightening. That video is linked at the end of this one. Thank you for being here. I will see you there.